Welcome to From the Woodshed, where we talk about all things Maine, all things Maine cabins, and all things Maine related. Coming to you from the Kennebec Cabin Company, home of the Maine Cabin Masters in Manchester, Maine. Open year-round, stopping for live music, delicious food, and cold beverages before or after your visit to our retail location. From the Woodshed is brought to you by NELMA, Northeast Lumber Manufacturing Association. See the stamp, trust the quality. And Hammond Lumber, our building materials supplier. We're wicked excited to get started, so let's head on in. From the Woodshed, I'm Chase Morrill. With me as always, Eva Morrill.
Hello, hello.
And filling in for Ryan today is Evie.
Hello.
And Ellie.
Hi.
Ellie is my cousin and Evie is Eva's cousin.
Wait, what?
In the world of morals.
In the world of morals, we're cousins.
We're here to talk about all things cabins, all things Maine cabin related. Our guest today is Patrick Linehan from Maine Veteran Woodturners. You can find us at KennebecCabinCompany.com, MaineCabinMasters.com, our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Kennebec Cabin Company YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out our online store at shop.KennebecCabinCompany.com. And we always want to thank our sponsors, Hammond Lumber Company, the official building materials supplier of Kennebec Cabin Company, and NELMA, Northeast Lumber Manufacturing Association. Stick around long enough, you'll be doing that for me.
No.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, Ev, you wanted to be a guest host on the podcast for a while. Ryan was incapacitated of sorts today, so I'm glad you were able to fill in. My first question is, do you listen to our podcast?
No, it's boring.
Okay. Second question, do you listen to any podcasts?
No.
No, all
Wait,
right.
actually, I might. I don't know.
Is there a Taylor Swift podcast?
No, it's a weird,
I'm sure there's
no, it's
100 of them.
It's a weird but true one that I listen to. It's made by like
really?
two kids. Yeah, it's really cool. I like that one.
Same question to you.
Do I listen to your podcast?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
I've listened to it many times.
All of them.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
do you listen to a lot of other podcasts?
Yes, I do.
Actually, I do listen. I listen to Armchair Anonymous with you sometimes.
Mm,
I like
yes.
that. That's cool.
Eva, do you listen to podcasts?
Nope. If I'm feeling like I need to be productive, I'll listen to a podcast, but that's it.
Nice. Yeah, so what's going on? How are you? How old are you? Introduce yourself to our listening.
Why?
Because that's what you do on podcasts.
Hello. I'm his cousin, and I'm 10.
Where do you go to school?
I go to a school.
All right. You want to keep your location secret? I get that. I
Yeah.
get that.
But there be some stalkers on here.
You're... You listen to Mystery Murder podcast.
No, I don't.
Your brother was a guest host
Yeah.
a few years
I think
ago.
like 3 years
Yeah,
ago.
he gave me
Yeah.
a shout out because I was sick and I couldn't make it. And I'm sad now.
Can you give him a shout out?
No.
You gonna go
Come
shout out to
on.
He's
anybody?
mean. And I had to go to all of his hockey games. So he doesn't deserve one.
The hockey's over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
we made it through our first season of travel hockey. Yeah.
How long is it over for?
A month.
How long has been over? 2 weeks?
And how much longer do you have before hockey starts back up?
Like a month.
4 months?
It's only like a month because we have like.
No, yeah, it's really only a month because she's gonna start playing and
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I heard
Yeah.
you're gonna start playing too.
Yeah, I am.
yeah.
Goalie?
No. That's only in field hockey.
Yeah, tell us about what do you like to do?
Wait. You play goalie in field hockey?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Wait, what?
But you have to tell them why you like playing when it's cold because
Yeah, and then I don't get freezing.
you have to wear a lot of equipment when you're a
And I
goalie.
do not like playing when it's hot.
On those cold October days.
Nice.
Smart thinking.
And also on my birthday, I got to play for 3 games straight.
Cool.
Yeah, it's because I was
You got to
doing so
what?
good. I played for 3 games straight because I was doing so good.
At goalie?
Yeah.
That's good. Jedi's a hockey goalie and he's still playing goalie, so.
Isn't Jedi like 65 years old?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. For all those listeners. Nice. Yeah, so we were just talking a little bit. You guys are going to be gone for Easter.
We are really sad to miss it.
I'm not.
Fletcher's not going this year either.
Where is he going to be?
He's going on the Heritage Tour.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yep.
Heritage tour.
He gets to go to like DC.
Mm-hmm. DC, all
That
the...
sounds boring.
Mount Vernon.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds fascinating to me. I'm bummed that I can't go with him.
You could
Skiing.
blow off Easter. Yeah. No, we need some Morrill family representation.
No, it's for like a week, and you're stuck on a bus with a bunch of middle school
8th grade boys. What are you talking about?
And right, you'll have a great time.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
And I learned that his girlfriend is also going.
I think his girlfriend's fake.
No, Mimi and Peggy met her. She's the only one in our family.
So
Yeah.
true.
So
He's probably just lying to be cool.
that could be too. Those 8th grade boys, you never know.
Can we get our drinks yet?
No, that comes with our next guest segment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what else is going on?
Not too much. We're just enjoying our free time more than anything. Sad we didn't get any skiing in, but
I don't like skiing.
yeah, Evelyn doesn't like skiing anymore, so
No, we did get skiing in for that Kent Hill thing. That
Right.
was very boring.
It's always hockey or skiing.
yeah. Well, you have to do something.
Absolutely.
Have to figure out something for the winter or it just lasts forever here.
I don't do anything in the winter.
Evelyn, do you do the spring sport?
No.
No.
Eve is doing tennis this year
Mm-hmm.
and starts next week.
Starts Monday.
Practices are like tryouts.
Practice.
Are there tryouts?
Not really.
There's tennis teams. They just played for fun.
Oh, tennis is a lifelong sport, and you got to be
Yeah.
dedicated. You play tennis.
No.
Fun fact: Ellie doesn't play tennis.
I have attempted. I'm very bad.
You're good at pickleball. Kind of.
Kind of. There's something about that hand-eye coordination that I never got. Yeah, I'm like the only person in our whole family that doesn't play.
Yeah.
I don't play.
Yeah, you probably will
Yes.
eventually, though.
No.
Yeah, it's in your blood,
Yeah.
Evelyn.
in your
not.
blood.
All Morrills play tennis.
No, I did that tennis camp with Isaac, and I absolutely hated it.
You were good at it, though.
Yeah, I hated it.
Like mother like daughter.
And then you were there once, and I had to change into a t-shirt.
I remember
'Cause I
picking you
only-
up
Yeah,
once or twice there.
Yeah.
See?
he remembers. You don't.
Memories, good memories, all
Yeah,
good memories.
very good memories.
Mm-hmm.
And soon we'll be making more good memories.
No, we won't.
Yes, we will. Summer's so close.
It's so close.
So close. I walked out this morning. There were robins all over the trees, just waiting for the snow to melt.
Birds are annoying.
How can you really feel?
Sometimes they're not, but most of the time they are.
So sap, we boiled sap. It was maple syrup Sunday this past weekend.
Made maple sundae.
Is that what I said?
No, you said maple syrup sundae.
What's the difference?
Everything.
Oh. So we boiled about, I want to say, over 400 gallons,
Yeah?
which we did not get 10 gallons of syrup.
I was going to say, did you get your 10 gallons?
No, not at all. But we had a good time, boiled all the sap. It was a very funny season this year. I don't know if it's over yet or not, but
No,
Yeah.
it's snowing this weekend.
yeah, but it slowed right down for me.
It's snowing this weekend.
Yeah, so maybe you'll come back a little bit, get
Yeah.
some more. Are you done?
No. If we get more sap, I'll keep boiling.
Yeah.
I talked to Gladys and Steve. They're right in the throes of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we plan to go check out their operation.
Yeah. There's this pretty high tech.
Yes, yes. Yeah, and if you want some fresh Maine maple syrup, you can get right downstairs at Kennebec Cabin Company, made by our aunt and uncle at the Russell or the
I don't have any parents.
Hammond Hill Farm. Oh,
Yeah. The best maple syrup in Maine coming from Hammond Hill.
that's right. That's right. We're going to take a short break. We'll see you after this video from our friends at Hammond Lumber. Ryan usually reads this one. You read this one
Why?
because I'm doing a terrible job at it.
We're going to take a short break. We'll see you after. We'll see you after this video from our friends at Hammond Lumber. Dun dun dun. I did it.
Perfect.
Renovating or building new, you'll find a wide selection of high-performing, energy-efficient, and beautiful windows and doors at Hammond Lumber Company. Your Hammond sales representative will walk you through the showroom displays and help you choose options to create a personalized custom look. Free in-home measurement is available, and Hammond can deliver your order from any of their locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Bring your vision and enjoy better light and added security and energy savings with quality windows and doors from Hammond Lumber Company.
All right, and we are back with our guest, Patrick Linehan. Patrick is the Vice President of the Maine Veteran Woodturners, a nonprofit founded 4 years ago with the idea of helping military veterans by offering direction, providing motivation, instilling patience, giving purpose, and providing camaraderie.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me today.
Thanks for joining us. So we always start out this segment with water, coffee, or beer. Today it's going to be water or root beer.
We are going for root beer today.
Good choice, good choice. Today's guest segment is brought to us by Definitive. So we have a Definitive root beer.
Absolutely.
There you go. And that glass is your gift for being on today. Ellie, Ev, what would you like?
Root beer.
Root beer? Water?
Yeah.
Not root beer. What if the root beer had a little ice cream in it?
I'd take the ice cream.
Good answer.
All right. Well, cheers, everybody. And thank you for joining us today. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about Maine Veteran Woodturners and how long it's been around. You know, give us a breakdown on it.
Well, you said it all. Patience, purpose, redirection, and camaraderie. Any more than that, you can go to our website, MaineVeteranWoodturners.org. Actually, that's just the tip of the iceberg. We started back kind of as a thought from a peer counselor from the U.S. Veterans Administration. A dreamer said, "Hey, I think we need more," and he was thinking about starting a group that would just kind of use wood as therapy to help veterans, and using your hands and kind of getting in touch with things. So he was talking to me one day, said, "Geez, I'd like to start a pen group," and I laughed. I'd never heard of making pens, and I thought that's what you went down to the store to buy, and I laughed pretty heartily, and he wasn't offended. He talked a little more about it, and I trusted him. So I said, "Hey, I work for this company that sometimes does these donations," so I set it up. So we bought a whole lathe setup, all the equipment, and in a lathe. Cost $700-800. And that's what it cost to set up one veteran. And delivered the lathe. And he said, wait, the VA's not on board yet. Well, this isn't a VA project. This is something we're doing on our own. And
where was the lathe delivered to?
Well, we delivered it to him. And then it started really as a dream. Oh. And it was delivered to the first member's garage, and it was set up, and he turned a pen, and they started meeting once a week, and then another veteran joined. Then we got a referral for another veteran, and it's kind of word of mouth and some referrals from other peer counselors. And a peer counselor is somebody who is hired by the VA or used to be hired by the VA, and they would see other veterans, and they just kind of referred somebody to the group, and it's outside the VA. And
so it's not a. Well, when did it start? What year?
It started in 2021.
Oh wow!
Yep.
Where?
Where it was up off the airline road, Route 9. I can't think of the town. I'll think of it. But yeah, it was
in Maine.
Yeah, it was out of Bangor. Yeah. This is strictly a Maine group.
Maine Woodturners.
Yep. So.
But did the idea come from Is it a national?
No. This is
all Maine oriented. Maine started.
This was born right in Maine, right here. Somebody in the Bangor area thought it up.
Yeah.
And was inspired, and it started right here. It got off the ground by people caring and setting it up. There was no model. There was no, you send away and you get the plans on how to do it. Yeah. This was built from the ground up.
Nice.
And this young man, Nick Wood, and it's not a joke with his name. It's really Nick Wood. Nick started it and drove it. I wasn't even a member at first. I joined several months into it, And they started meeting, and then we got talked to a few businesses and got some more stuff donated. And then now we're up to 46 members.
46 members.
46 members, and it's a big undertaking. We've evolved into an official 501c3 nonprofit, recognized by the government. We file taxes, we pay sales tax. We're officially organized, and those skills came into the group by people that joined that had other skills, accounting skills, leadership skills. We have a board that meets once a month. We vote on members. It's a great organization, but we make these for the camera, these beautiful pens, and they're awesome. This is, a magnifying glass. We have great, pen holders, and the crafts are amazing. But our success is not measured by a big bank account or a beautiful pen. It's by veterans that are reintegrated back into society, well-adjusted, and able to go out and do things and feel like they're part of the community again. And we do that by getting them into the group. If they want to join, you're not forced to be in the group. They have to come in. They have to go to our meetings. We have a meeting once a week on Zoom. And once a month, we meet at somebody's basement where we have a skills class, sort of, where we get together and talk, joke around, and make pens and go over best practices. Craft fairs, like we just got done at the Eastern Maine Sportsman's Show, which was huge. We old Hollowell days. We were set up by the gracious hosts at the WTF. If you've never been to a WTF, the second annual World Tool
Woodworkers Tool Festival.
There we go. It's in, if you can imagine, it's in not Manchester, but it's just down the road in Monmouth.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, meet all kinds of people there. But we do that, we do, we hot dog festival, the whoopie pie festival. And we don't just, have pens for sale. We've got veterans that are members of our group, and they talk to people, and people talk back. Therefore, establishing communication. So it's not just us telling our stories, people telling their stories back. My dad was in the service. My mom did this. My mom was a whack. My mom went over to Desert Storm. People feel glad supporting us by, coming and telling the story.
Yeah.
And, our pens, it's just a byproduct. So, it's for veterans.
Yeah.
Nobody gets a paycheck in our group. No one's compensated financially, as far as, our bookkeeper doesn't make money. Well, the state makes money because, we pay taxes and so forth. But, there's no payroll. So it's all volunteer.
Nice. That's fantastic. How much, like you said, 47 members now?
Yes, we had a board meeting. We had to put the board meeting off because we had a few illnesses. But we have, I believe it's 47. It may be 49.
So do you have like a wood shop, like a home base?
That's the unique part of it. So when a veteran comes in, you'd think, okay, so what are we going to do? Buy an airplane hangar and, set everybody up? These folks take the lathes home.
Really?
And they work at home. We have one member, he's been with us for a long time. He's actually on our board. He works out of his second-story apartment in Bangor. And he doesn't have a big lathe. He got an upgraded lathe. We start with a small pen pal lathe because if somebody doesn't like doing wood turning or doesn't want to be part of the group, there's not a whole lot for them to return.
Wait, what do you mean? What's a pen pal lathe?
It's a smaller lathe. It's a basic lathe. It spins. You can do basic work on it. But it's not a larger lathe where you can turn a bowl or something. So it's a basic startup thing. So we're talking a pretty big financial commitment, and the veterans aren't paying for the equipment. So we're taking a leap of faith having somebody come in, and so we're building a relationship with the people that come to our group.
Do they have to have woodworking skills prior to?
They have to have the desire to get better and to learn in the group. No skill required.
No skill required.
And, we have female veterans.
Yeah.
And we have male veterans. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You just have to be a veteran.
What size lathe do you need to make like a pen like this?
You could do it on a basic pen pal lathe, a smaller type lathe.
So we had Brand Cochran Axe Company in last season, and that they have apprentices come in and they have to make bottle openers in the shape of an axe head, little things, and that's all they do until they get that mastered, and then they can be promoted to actually working on axes. Do you have beginners, novices, like focus on something before they jump right into making pens? Like what's the progression, I guess, is my...
Well, think about it this way. You're disabled. Maybe if you are disabled, you're on your couch.
Yeah.
You get nothing to do. Your body hurts. You get nothing but bad thoughts.
Yeah.
And you're in your head, on your couch. Somebody gives you an opportunity. You don't trust them. You get off your couch, okay, I'll try it. You go in, you get a lathe. Okay, there's got to be a catch somewhere. You turn a pen, you get to thinking bad thoughts, and then you blow up the little blank.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody's going to be mad at me. So you try another one, you blow that one up too. Then you come back to the group, say, I don't have anything to show for it because I busted all my stuff. So if somebody came back and said that, we'd look at him like, hey, what'd you do? And no. It's like we'd give him more help and say, well, what were you thinking when you were doing it? Because part of this is you have to focus. When you're working on a lathe, you have to focus on what you're doing, because if your mind wanders, one slip of the chisel, and what happens?
Yeah, it's gone.
When you're cutting something, when you're cutting a walnut, when you're cutting some really prized wood, you're focusing 100%.
Yes.
So you start with getting right with yourself, and then starting to trust it. So we're not focusing on, that's why we use a small lathe, and you have to go through you have to go through the course with our safety person. You don't just get a lathe and go home. You have to prove that you're proficient and you're not going to tear your fingers off. So it's upstairs first that you have to get right.
Yeah.
And whether you're fighting addiction or whether you're fighting, PTSD, you have to. It's a unique situation. Well, everything's unique, from looking at it. But it's the progression is you're working on yourself, because remember, the finished product isn't the pen, it's the veteran, it's the person. So we're looking at it not from a like Brant and Cochran, who are great guys.
Yeah.
One of their followers, a good friend of mine, the Axe Man. He's good, like the historian of all that is axes. They're working on a finished product of an axe, and we're working on a reintegrated veteran into society.
Nice.
So we'll give them all the technical help they need, and if somebody comes in and they're really having a hard time, we have connections where we can refer them back for additional services if they want them. We are not clinical. We have no ties with that, but we have enough connections that if somebody needs help, we can try to get them help. So we're not into anyone's medical records or anything like that, but we really are here to help veterans be good, be integrated back into society.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's almost like an altruistic kind of approach to things. Like, what do we get out of it? We're all a work in progress. When I came here today, I think somebody heard me say, I am probably the least of all to be here to making this pitch today. But, I'm here, and we're all a team. The way we look at it, we all took the oath, and we all may have served at different times, did different things, worked on different teams, but we all did it.
Nice.
And, we might joke around amongst ourselves like, oh, okay, you rode the boat, and you jumped out of planes. But, if you come after one of us, it's all of us. Donations, we work on donations. We get some, we don't. We sell a lot of pens, but, some people go online. We sell pens all over the country. people, it just works, you know. But we are registered in Maine as a nonprofit, you know, nationwide, but in Maine, and we're a Maine group. We haven't tried to franchise and kind of grow the model.
That was going to be my question. Do you see similar style programs, for lack of better words?
It would be great if there was. We were interviewed a couple of years ago for a documentary, Voices of Hope, and it was episode 9. It was a documentary person in Portland that did the documentary. It was featured on PBS, and it was a great presentation. They had a lot of nonprofits. We were like 40 minutes into it, and watching it, it's like, wow, we're really making a difference. Maybe there's somebody else that could grow that model. But, you know, for starting in 2021, as me laughing at Nick Wood, the one guy, and then, you know, coming here, it's really kind of cool that we're able to do as much as we have, and that we keep growing. We had talked last year, not seriously, but we had kind of talked, so what are we going to cap our numbers at? Because how can we sustain this growth financially? And, you know, keep the quality of what we're doing for people. And how can we have more people come in when we can't provide, you know, the basic equipment?
Makes sense.
And here we go. We've got, you know, now 47 people, and it works. And holding the people in the group accountable to themselves, and, you know, and then also, you know, making sure that we're managing our resources well.
I mean, yes, that's a big part of it. And growth is you gotta be smart and
getting out. I mean, some of the contacts we've made, we went out and went to a fly-in. Why would you want to go to a fly-in selling pens? Really, why would you go to East Livermore, Maine, Bowman Field, planes flying in?
why not?
We were invited. We were invited by somebody that had a display booth and owned part of a hangar from the VA. So we sold some pens, a few things, and we made a lot of contacts. So there's a rare wood called Lignum vitae, I think it is. It's got a protected species list. So this guy owns this little wood bearing shop over in Georgetown, over by Reed State Park.
Yeah.
He invited us down because he has some cuttings from making these special bearings that he's the only one in the world that makes.
Wow.
So we went down there. He showed us all through his plant, and he gave us these cuttings so we could make these special pens with this special wood. And then we made a few more contacts, but it's just, you never know unless you take that step where it's going to lead.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, all different opportunities.
Yep, it's like inviting me here. You never know, like, what's this guy going to talk about?
I've got a ton of technical questions. I won't get too deep because I can tell already Eva's. But like, I mean, these aren't simple turnings. Like it takes a lot of work. I mean, they're beautiful. How do you yeah, I mean, you just kind of all work together. Like, where does you said?
Okay, this is rather unique. It kind of makes me chuckle. There was a guy that heard about us, and he was presented to us as a master bowl maker, and I said, everyone starts at the bottom with us. This guy's a master bowl maker. He is like unbelievable. He auctions his stuff off sometimes for thousands of dollars.
Sure.
But he's got a relationship with a company. It's now in Maine, but I think it was in Canada. But they make these laminated birch pieces.
Yes.
It's got a French name.
Cousineau's.
Yeah, Cousineau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually the company we got our skateboard blanks for Fletcher's stairs when we went to Italy.
So Cousineau, I don't have another one. Cousineau makes those, but we have a whole bunch of those that we cut into squares, and we have the Vietnam veterans ribbon. So where you cut it into a blank, and you drill out the center into whatever size you need to receive the barrel.
Yeah.
And then you glue it up and turn it.
Yeah.
And So the problem with those is finding the exact length, because everything has to be exact, because if you distort the length, then you distort the presentation of the colors of the ribbon.
Gotcha.
Because that all the person who had that set up, he meticulously measured the ratio of colors, so it was exact. It won't fit on your shirt as a ribbon, but the color ratio is exact. Wow. And so we had to find a pen that would, like, this is set on a magnifying glass because there's no predetermined length. But on a pen, every pen has a predetermined length of the blank. So we have to find the exact pen that'll fit.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that, in researching species, when you're researching something, what does that do? It causes your mind to focus on something, and you're learning something new. So you're bringing in new information. So then your brain is storing. This is just a layperson's idea of how your brain works. So some of the stuff that you've been carrying around, that you've been refocusing, that gets stored because you're bringing in new stuff. So some of that stuff that's getting stored may be stuff that you've been kind of ruminating about. Yeah. So you're redirecting yourself. So it's not just the turning of the pens, it's the research. You know how much I looked about lignum vitae? It grows all over the world.
Right.
Is it like Palo Santo wood? You've heard of Palo Santo, right?
Never.
So, yeah, I mean, technically speaking, it's not just the turning of the pens.
Right.
It's so many different aspects that it gets your mind to focus on other things.
Nice.
I think Ev has a question, actually. Do you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do you have to be a veteran?
Why do you have to be a veteran?
Yeah.
Because somebody has to stand up and protect this great country.
Right.
And, when I was in high school, I decided, long story, but I decided that when I heard Jimmy Carter say, we are going to have to start having selective service registration, I thought that meant the draft was coming back in 1980. So I ran down to the recruiter's office, and I wanted to get the job I wanted. Little did I know he wasn't saying we're going to draft people anymore. He was just saying we're going to have to sign up. So I did my hitch. I got out, and I had to go sign up for selective service, but it didn't matter anymore because I was sold. But
how can somebody who isn't a veteran?
Right. So what you're really asking is, I knew what your real question was. Thank you. So the reason it has to be a veteran is, I didn't think I'd be stumped, but you stumped me.
No, man, I'm right. How can a non-veteran help support your organization?
Well, they can go online and make a donation.
Where's the best place to?
If you go online, we have a website, Maine Veteran Woodturners.org. You can see, you can look at our history. Our About page will tell you in a lot more detail how we got started. You can shop online, you can make a donation, you can tell a friend about us. You can leave us a bequest. It sounds like, oh, that's a big thing. People do it all the time. And it's, even if you just spread the word that, hey, there's this great veterans organization, or even if you can't do any of that, when you see us, stop by and say hi. Say, hey, I saw you on the podcast. That was really cool. Couldn't you send somebody better? Interestingly, though, when we talk about making contact, we were in Hollowell, and a lot of people stop by, and I know my voice cracks when I say that. This one person stopped by, and she may be watching, she may not, but she stopped by and she said, I've got 2 lathes, and would you guys be interested? And I won't get into the particulars, but she gave us 2 brand new lathes that she had, that she wasn't sure what she was going to do with. And it was like unbelievable. It's like, wow. And she told us a story. Well, she kind of said, I just have to get rid of them. And it was like mutually beneficial,
Sure.
So
now that brings up another interesting question. can people donate? Is there, yeah, I mean, the whole idea of the Woodworkers Tool Festival was kind of a tool swap start, because everybody has older tools, some things they use, some things they don't. If somebody wanted to donate some equipment to you, is there some, will you take anything? Are there,
the best way, if you have something to donate, it's, if you go to the website, Maine Veteran Woodturners.org, and you click on the Contact Us button. We've had a lot of activity with that. We picked up some wood from the Viles Arboretum, some nice pear wood. But if you have equipment that you want to donate, if you click on that tab and you message saying, "Hey, I've got this model or this item, would you be interested?" We'll have somebody get back with you because that's actively managed.
Okay.
And we'd love to help. And a lot of the stuff, like some stuff we get, is repurposed.
Sure.
And yeah, every little bit counts.
Awesome. Eva, do you have any? I think we covered.
We covered most of them. Yeah. Yeah, most of them were covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any? Yeah, I mean,
I've got 2 stories for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Yes.
We went to this town and it was a small town and we had fun doing it. And everybody quilted, so we sold a lot of seam rippers. And this one young man came and he was like 16 or 17, I guess, and he wanted to join the military. So he said, "But I got to wait a couple of years." And he said, "I'd really like to buy a pen, but I don't have any money." And the guy said, "Yeah, it's okay." So he said something. He said, "I'll be right back." He saw one of our slingshots. It was made out of antler. He came back, and I think that's how the story goes, but he came back with a barrel full of antlers. So our raw materials were satisfied for quite a while for antler. So this is an antler pen, and we make antler slingshots where they're like we call it our home protection division because it's an insert and it comes with free little ball.
Probably good you didn't bring any of those down.
Wicked good. And the joke about Ryan and Chase was I was deathly afraid I'd call Chase Ryan and Ryan Chase because I kept doing it all day long at WTF. And I think it made Ryan laugh because I kept calling him Chase because he kept walking by because where we were. So I had to figure out a way to associate how I could differentiate the two. Red hair didn't work. So I said, well, Chase and Ashley both have an H in their name. So for sure, I know those two. So that was how I was able to differentiate you guys. But now I've talked to you, now I've got it.
Yeah, we didn't really get to test you because Ryan isn't even here, so. Well, Pat, I can tell this is something that's, near and dear to your heart. You're passionate about it. Thank you for your service and thank you for what you're doing for the veterans. I think, it's a great organization. And one more time, where can people find you on the web?
Dial now. You can find us at www.mainveteranwoodturners.org. And thank you very much in advance.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. And yeah, we'll be right back with a special surprise. This is Chase
And Ryan.
from the Woodshed podcast, and we are here to get project pointers where we answer questions from people who reach out, questions about their cabins, projects they have going on, and we try and answer them as best we can.
It's really our favorite part, one of the favorite parts. We really get into it, and we'd really like to develop that more, maybe find projects and pointers that we can talk to the homeowner in real time with and see where it goes from there.
So if you have a cabin and you have an issue, or if you have a project you're working on, podcast at mainecabinmasters.com, project pointers. All right, so now we are moving on to project pointers. If you've got a question or have any issues going on with your camp, cabin, really anything, just let us know and we'll see if we can give some advice. You ready for give some advice today, Evan, Ellie?
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ask the experts.
Yeah. So I have a question.
Oh, no. You have one too? All right. Let's let's start with that one then.
Okay. So went out to camp, got the CMP bill, and it was way higher for February than I was actually expecting. So went out and checked it out, saw that a light was on, and turned that off, of course. And septic pump was beeping, the alarm was going off, but not sure what could be causing the CMP bill to be so high. Everything else seemed normal.
When did you go out?
I got the bill, so it was February bill, got it a couple weeks ago, so went out just recently.
Has anybody been staying out there?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Not that you know of?
Not that I know of.
So camp is shut down
Yeah.
and the electricity bill was high.
Yeah. Water's turned off.
And the only thing that was going on was the light was on and there was a beeping on the septic alarm.
Mm-hmm.
What was the alarm saying? Was it saying? Did it say what it was? Like, because it's a pump station at camp, right?
Yeah.
So you got the septic tank, and then all the liquids get pumped up to the leach field further up, which actually, yeah, I mean, so we have the same problem down at camp in New Harbor,
Oh, yeah.
where groundwater can get into the tank, but typically we shut the pump off for the wintertime, because if you get groundwater into the tank, it's going to keep, it's going to keep flooding that, and it's going to keep pumping, keep flooding in, keep pumping, keep flooding in, keep pumping. So maybe that's why maybe the same thing's happening up to camp with the groundwater there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Camp dying.
No, never. But but in February.
Yeah, because everything should be frozen, right?
Yeah, what was February like? Do you
Cold.
remember?
Really cold. Everything was.
Cold and snowy.
Cold and
Yeah.
snowy.
But was there any thawing? Oh no, but it would have been January, right?
What says the bill for February? Yeah, so it may have been January.
January was also freezing.
Yeah, it's January, February, even most of March. It's really cold.
But maybe the ground froze up and there was a path. Oh shoot, now maybe I don't give you an answer. But my guess is that it was the groundwater was getting into the tank, and maybe it was maybe the pump line, that could be it too. That it's the line from the septic tank up to the leach field isn't buried very deep.
Mm-hmm.
So if that was frozen and there was some liquids in the tank, that doesn't typically freeze up. If it kept trying to pump it up, it might back up and burn out the pump, or pump might keep running, causing the electric bill to be high.
Yeah. So
my suggestion, and this is good advice, is if you've got a camp with a pump system, make sure, try and make sure groundwater doesn't get into it, but also shut your pump off for the winter for this exact reason, because, again, a lot of times it's not buried deep enough to avoid the frost. And if the pipe freezes up, it's not going to be able to push the water. So you'll burn out your pump. It'll waste electricity unnecessarily. And it's, you come back in the spring, you turn your tank on, and it'll pump it up and clear it out.
Okay.
Let's hope. We're going to have to check back in with you on this one.
Yeah.
To find out what hopefully the right answer is.
But
Yeah.
I thought you said this was from Gladys.
Gladys via Ellie.
Yes.
We're all related, Next question. Do we have any others?
We do. We have one from Leslie Dunleavy. We have a beautiful camp on a lake in western Maine. It's made of stucco, and I cannot stand it.
Stucco.
We would really like a more rustic look. It does have some pieces of wood outside the windows and currently has a flat roof. I would like to know if it's just a matter of getting wood siding, or is the only option to cover the stucco and trim with a paint color that makes it less obvious. If you have any suggestions to cover the stucco, it would be very much appreciated.
What is stucco?
It's like cement almost.
Is it sticky?
And when you put it on. So stucco.
Okay, I've heard enough.
No, we got to answer this question.
Okay.
What's your suggestion? Paint it or put something over it?
Deal with it.
That's what we're trying to figure out. flat roof and stucco in Western Maine.
No, where did that come from?
That's a rough one. I'd be more worried.
the
I'd be
husband's
more worried
short.
about the flat roof.
Yeah.
Hopefully the husband's short,
Why?
so they don't hit their head. No dead.
On the ceiling.
Yes.
Maybe they did really tall
Yeah, it
walls.
could be a tall flat roof.
You're not very tall either.
Sheepers creepers. Rough audience here. So I think the first thing I would suggest is if you can kind of peel into it at all, kind of see what's behind the stucco, because that's going to make a big difference about what you can do. A lot of times they put like a screen mesh on and then they put cement over that, and then they put the stucco on that. If there's a sheathing behind it, you can always nail right through the stucco, where pine siding would cover it really easy. I guess it would be a question of how smooth the walls are. I don't think it would take much to cover the stucco over with pine. I don't think it's going to
Pine trees.
ruin it much. Pine trees?
Yeah, you're gonna cover it with pine trees.
I mean, sawed up pine trees. Some
No,
beautiful
you should just
eastern
do it
white
so,
pine.
like the branches of pine tree, and just stick it on there.
Camouflage it like that?
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Or you could put pine branches on it. Painting is an option. I don't think it will last long, but I think it's a quick and easy way. But I would say pry into it a little bit, see what's going on behind there, and it should be able to take a nice siding. You could do a novelty siding, clapboard, live edge siding, board and batten. You got options.
Your beard has a lot of gray hairs.
All right, on to questions for Chase and Ev.
Okay. This first one's a very good one for Evelyn. Do the kids get teased or picked on about being on the show?
No, but I get picked on by the kids.
It's probably only me.
Yeah, what do your friends think, Evelyn, of having such a cool cousin?
Oh, Larissa screams and when we're in the lunchroom and says, "She's got a famous cousin."
Do you wear your Maine Cabin Masters shirt with pride?
I don't think I have one.
Probably outgrown it.
Yeah. Or she says
Do
something else.
your teachers know?
I don't know. I think I've told them.
Are any of your teachers fans of the show?
I don't know. I mean, there's only like one that's pretty old. Well, there's actually a lot that are very old.
What are you saying?
They're all like 60, almost 70. Well, that's
We
what
have
they look
young
like.
fans too.
Okay.
All right, Yvonne. What about you?
I think that my friends think it's pretty cool. I don't know. I don't really talk about it, but my best friend Greta worked at this store, and she takes a lot of pride in working down there.
Nice.
That's really
What
cool.
about your teachers?
I don't.
Yeah, sometimes they'll bring it up to me. They'll say, "Oh yeah, I saw you on the show the other day," or "Oh, I
Look
saw."
at the T-shirt I'm wearing
Yep,
today.
look at that.
Wait, what is that? Oh,
It's
my.
Fletcher and Max. Max made it onto an episode this past season. He
Probably should have like
came down and
gotten
did
rid of
demolition.
that.
So I took a screenshot of the episode.
And made a
right when it had their names.
Yes,
And put the
very
heart
well
on it.
done.
And Sam
Very
found
well
out
done.
Max's
Not very
father
well
made the
done.
T-shirt. So.
The heart
love
is
it.
very
Yes.
weird.
I
There's a
should-
straight edge. It
I
should
should do it for as Haley and Ellie and make that into a shirt.
Yes. Yeah, that could be a thing now, right?
That's gonna be embarrassing because you're my mom.
It's gonna embarrass you, then I'm 100%.
No, no, don't do it. You've already embarrassed me enough. Sometimes.
Never.
All right. That answers that question.
Yeah. Okay. Next question: how many GoPros have been ruined or damaged while filming the show?
Ooh,
Probably a lot.
a lot get ruined. They're pretty indestructible.
You sure?
Yes, I remember one time. Actually, we broke one. Well, they put them in cases, so the GoPro themselves don't get destroyed, but the cases get smashed pretty regularly. I remember we doing a cabin one time. I think it was the summer camp down in near Raymond. Can't remember the name of it. Anyways, they had a GoPro and they wanted to get some cool footage, so there was a dump truck load of crushed stone showing up. Normally when they do something like that, they'll like put it on the edge, but it must have been a new person. They put it right in the center. And all the entire, like, 14 yards of crushed stone got dumped on top of this GoPro.
Maybe they're not very smart.
Was it a pancake after?
I won't.
No, they're like, well, what do we do? And we're like, here's a shovel. Like, we're not digging out your GoPro for you. And so I think they made the PA, like the lowest guy on the totem pole, dig out to find that GoPro. Like, you know, we were using it, the crushed stone, so like the pile slowly was going down. But then at some point he had to like dig out, and he found it. And
Was it like crushed?
no, it was fine. I mean, a little
Why?
dirty. So like, I don't even think the footage was that exciting because like
Yeah, as soon as it gets over, it's
like 2 seconds it's black.
Maybe they weren't very smart.
it's like a needle in a haystack.
Right.
GoPro and
Yeah.
the crushed stone.
We've lost quite a few drones.
You guys have drones?
Always. Oh, look who's here.
Oh,
Play.
I heard that you guys are here. I didn't get invited. So I'm coming in to say hi.
Am I your favorite cousin?
Yes. Hi, everybody. I just got an oil change and I drove by. I was like, oh, yeah. Have fun. You guys having a good time?
Yeah. I make fun of Chase a lot.
Okay, great. All right. I just want to come and say hi.
All right.
What are you guys talking about? Anything good?
GoPro's getting ruined.
Yeah. You know a lot about that. We know a lot about that.
See? And drones getting ruined.
wait.
That too.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I'll be at the woodshed.
All right.
Well, come say hi.
So yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. All right. Any other questions?
I've noticed y'all are always packing DeWalt tools on the job site, and I'm wondering why none of the guys really use other brands like Milwaukee or Makita.
He sounds like he's like a
Clint,
million.
I would suggest listening to episode 8 or 7 from season 6. We just recently had Brett Fournier, who is our DeWalt rep, on the episode. I think if you listen to that podcast, it'll be pretty clear why we like DeWalt. He's a great guy, a great company, and they are great to work with. We do have some Milwaukee, Makita, Ryobi, you know, other tools. Some of the guys prefer those so that it's not such a battery witch hunt at the end of the day. But yeah, DeWalt's great, and you can pretty much get everything you need in DeWalt. What about you, Ab? Which tool brand do you prefer?
My dad should answer that question.
What brand does your father have?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to that.
Are they yellow, blue, or red?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
No, I think red.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
We
His
like-
name sounds like he's a hillbilly.
We like to support all brands, but we've got a good relationship with DeWalt.
Are you sponsored by them?
We're not sponsored by DeWalt,
Oh, nice.
but it's like I said, it's just been a long working relationship. Listen to the last podcast with Brett Ford.
I don't want to listen to it. I'll only listen to this one because it's gonna be the best.
Oh, all right.
You sounded like you were French when you said that.
Now she's going after the French too.
Oh,
How we got canceled. Having 10-year-old on the podcast. Who would have thunk it?
No, next question. When will Evelyn ever be on again? Never.
all the time, actually. I should be on all the time.
All right, so now we're on to From the Archives, where Eva looks back at some of the logbooks of people who have stopped by Kennebec Cabin Company and jotted
I
down
saw
a
that.
few notes.
I saw that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And giant clip things.
Yeah, I stopped by the store and write down. Feel like we know you all. Love the show. The Deadhead t-shirts are great. Ashley, you are so creative. And Chase, I wish I had you to help with my cabin. Nancy and Richard from San Diego, California.
San Diego, California.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Wow.
Isn't that where the wildfires were?
I don't think they're in San Diego.
I think or maybe they were in LA. Yeah, LA.
Okay. We came up from Mass with the kids and go camping, so we visited the store and Woodshed. We love you all. I cannot read that. We should make Evelyn read these too.
Oh,
Can you
fine.
read cursive?
Yeah.
All
My
right. A
grandmother
lot of
is
them are in
cursive.
cursive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Sandy and Scott from Peabody, Mass. Love your show. Watched all of them. You all are the best. Keep up the great work. Scott's birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Congratulations.
When was your birthday?
It was 8/23, August 23rd, 2023. So
Oh.
I don't know how old he was turning.
We learned an interesting fact
What?
when we were down in
Jedi 65?
Cancun. We went to Chichen Itza, and the Mayan calendar is how many month calendar?
I think it has like 19
19 months.
Oh.
It still had 365 days. There were 19 months. But one of the months only had 5 days in it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were born in those 5 days, it was considered bad luck, and most likely you were a sacrifice. Guess whose birthday falls in that month? She's sitting right over there.
Oh,
It's August 5th through 10th. So
I already made it.
Yeah.
Do I have to wait?
okay.
Thank goodness we're not in the Mayan calendar.
Mhm. Okay, and then me and my family love your show. Can you say hello to Ashley for me?
Hi, Ashley.
She was just here. We'll pass
I
the
know.
message on. She'll be waiting down in the woodshed.
Okay, and last week's trivia question was, what popular almanac is published in Lewiston?
The Farmer's Almanac.
The Farmer's Almanac.
Yes.
I don't know that. I'm not that old.
now you know.
Now you know.
I don't
Alright.
even know what that is.
And this week's trivia question, if you know the answer, if you're the first person to submit it to podcast@mainecabinmasters.com, we will give you a shout out and maybe send you a nice
If you know the answer,
gift.
don't say it.
Yeah,
What
that's it.
Maine fish is called Mr. Silversides?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Silverback gorilla.
No.
All right.
Silverback
Again, podcast@mainecabinmasters.com if you know the answer. Mr. Silversides.
No, silverback gorilla. That's what it
No.
is.
I don't think so. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you to our sponsors, Hammond Lumber Company,
No.
Nelma. Thank you to Patrick Linehan for joining us. And From the Woodshed,
No, I'm supposed to say that. From the Woodshed, we'll be talking to y'all.
there you go.
Bye-bye.
From the Woodshed is brought to you by Nelma, Northeast Lumber Manufacturing Association. See the stamp, trust the quality. And Hammond Lumber, our building materials supplier.